Hello and welcome to another reading by Josh. I don't know. Welcome back, or if you've already been here before, or welcome to reading if this is your first video seeing of me, first time seeing my face. My name is Josh, and this is Tarot with Josh. So yeah, I hope you enjoy what we got for you today. We're gonna do another pick a card today. So way I do this, if this is your first time here, is I grab three cards from my Empirical Dragon Oracle deck. Man, Imperial, dang, I cannot speak today. Imperial Dragon Oracle deck, and then we'll use that to pick our piles. And then I have some other decks too that we use to kind of start getting in there. And I'll get into that once we actually get into the readings here. But here, let's show you what we got for our piles. So for pile number one, we have this Destiny card here. Kind of hard to see just because I need a bit better of a camera, but we work with what we got, right? Cool. And then for pile number two, we have the Firmament. This one's pretty cool. This is the first time this has come out for any of our readings here. Pretty cool little card. And then for pile number three, we have the Aeon. Did I say pile three for pile two? I might have said pile three. I don't remember. If I did, then I don't know. Maybe that means that you're kind of drawn to both piles. I don't know if that's the case. Then great. But yeah, the Aeon. This is a pretty cool card here too. So here, I'll hold them all up for you, so you can kind of sit for a second with the energies of these cards and decide which one is for you. There we go, and a little disclaimer. Please take what resonates and leave the rest for these readings. These are just meant to kind of help us out a little bit and just kind of have a little fun with it and see what comes through. We're not going to put too much onto this, okay? So if it doesn't resonate for you, if it doesn't really feel like anything that we're talking about in these readings just really doesn't work for you, then you can either pick another pile or go watch another video or go and do something else with your day. That'd be whatever you want to do, really. Awesome. So, with that said, why don't we just go ahead and jump right in? Hi there, pile one. If you chose this Destiny card here, then this is going to be your pile. Pretty cool energy, right? Right away, just talking about destiny sounds pretty big. I don't think it's necessarily that big, but maybe there's a little something. I think it's supposed to be the world card in the major arcana here. Each of these dragon cards do correspond to one of the major arcana cards. Um, so I will confirm and take a look here, but we're already talking about Destiny, and which is very cool. I really like to read the commentary that's in this book because it's really cool stuff that they put in here. The author of it, Andy Baggett and Peter Prokonic. Um, have written some pretty cool stuff. So here, it says for this one, the commentary reads, "We are powerless to change the cosmic forces that turn the wheel of life. However, we can be greatly empowered to change ourselves. To walk a path of destiny is to be in harmony with the cosmic forces of creation. Destiny is all about being in the right place at the right time and experiencing the right energies. This can only be realized if one is receptive to the cosmic forces of change." So yeah, I mean, with that, it's kind of making me think of like, you're probably either the wheel is starting to turn for you, kind of the wheel of fortune energy, or you're kind of starting to feel more receptive to those energies of change that might be swirling around you right now. I mean, right now is a pretty big time of change. I know there's some astrological reasons for that, but I'm not a big astrology person. I don't know a ton about that, but I do know that there's some stuff going on there. And I know from my own personal experiences lately, there's been a lot of change of just of energies going on. Really intense time lately. So if you're watching this, I mean, these are timeless, but if you're watching this near the same time, there's lots going on right now, and I'm sure you're kind of feeling the same thing. Yeah, and I'm feeling called to read the meaning here too. It says, when confronted by radical change, it is best to stand in the eye of the storm with peace in your heart so as to be at one with the forces of destiny. Expect the unexpected and be willing to look at things from more than one perspective. Although it may seem that you are revisiting old energies, you are experiencing them in a new light, which brings many opportunities for personal growth and spiritual development. Your destiny awaits you, so seize the moment. And I think that's really prevalent right now. I mean, I know for me personally, at least, I literally am back at a not a childhood home, but at a home that I used to live at like quite a few years ago, about 5 years ago, and it's been bringing a lot of old stuff back, and it's like I've been revisiting all these energies. But from a new perspective, because at this point, like I've done so much internal work that I am able to kind of look at the way that I interacted with these things during that time in a much different light. So maybe you're kind of going through a similar thing right now. You're seeing a lot of old things pop back up. I know a lot of people have been talking about Saturn returns lately, so maybe you're going through that. And that's kind of bringing up this sort of energy for you again. But yeah, I think it's important to remember we're, of course, in the right place that we're supposed to be in at the right time. We are always where we are meant to be. So want to move on here to the next card we got. So then I got a card from our Getting into the Vortex deck here, which is a great little deck here. If you know Esther and Jerry Hicks at all, or Abraham Hicks, you might recognize this. Really cool stuff. This is just got some neat little insights about stepping into your vortex, getting into alignment with source, and making it a little easier to sit in that law of attraction energy and manifestation stuff. So let's see what we got here. So we got this neat looking card. And then what it says there, since it's a little blurry, says, I'm a vibrational being, vibrationally emanating desires. So yeah, I mean, that's exactly what they talk about. If you've never really heard of them before, I do recommend you look them up because there's lots of really cool stuff that they do. They, Esther and Jerry, or Esther mainly, I believe, channels Abraham Hicks, and they talk about a lot about some really cool ideas and concepts. Highly recommend checking them out. They're really cool. So here on the back of the card here it says you live in a vibrational universe that is managed by the law of attraction. The law of attraction is bringing vibrations that are alike together, and so it is important for you to acknowledge that you are vibrational beings constantly emanating vibrational signals of desire. And when from your human form, you offer a vibration of what you want because you know what you don't want, so you know what you do want. You cannot contemplate any subject without equal components of wanted and unwanted appearing vibrationally in your experience. So yeah, kind of speaking to like that work of like focusing on what it is that you do want versus what you don't want. And I mean, if you do the work of like asking yourself, well, do I want this, yes or no, kind of working through that thing, and then when you know what you want and what you desire, when you're stepped into that vortex, into that vortex of abundance, then you align yourself vibrationally with the thing that you want, with the experience that you want. So yeah, kind of pretty cool little nuggets of information here. Now we have another card here for this is a crystal healing card, but we'll get into that at the end because I think it just wraps up the energy nicely in a little bow for us. So yeah, we're just gonna hop into tarot here then and see if there's any other messages that want to come out for you. So you can kind of just focus in your energy on the cards here, and with the intention that the messages that you want to or that you need to hear that are in alignment with your highest and greatest good come through. That one wanted to come out, but it didn't. So we'll just keep going. Some dropped through here. So we'll keep going here. Oh, interesting. we got this as well. Okay. See anything else? Yes. Immediately. Okay. Anything else, Spirit? Oh my goodness. So much coming out. Ah. Very fun. Ooh. Okay. Well, that's a lot. So, ooh. And then the whole deck fell over. Alrighty. Let's make some room here. Kind of taking up all the space I got here for us. Very nice. So, very interesting stuff. So I'm still really kind of familiarizing myself with all this, so bear with me while I interpret these guys. I do want to start off with we got the Justice here, that it came out immediately for us, and I'm really drawn to this owl right here. Something about the owl. I mean, I think I don't know, owls are really cool, so maybe that's a sign for you. No, owls are really awesome, and yeah, Justice talks a lot about balance. Um, and it's like karmic. There's like ideas of karmic justice in there, and like balancing the scales and all that stuff. So maybe there's a situation where things are kind of balancing out, or maybe this is kind of a sign that you're going to be receiving some sort of um, karmic justice or something. I don't know. And we also have the Knight of Wands here. And we got the Ten of Swords in reverse, which is a good card there. I mean, that's a lot of like betrayal energy, backstabbing energy, but it's in reverse. So maybe we got some. Maybe this is an energy that you've kind of been working through or dealing with. Maybe you've felt betrayed recently. We're kind of working through that. Got the Four of Pentacles, so we're kind of holding on to something here, holding on tightly to something. I got the Two of Swords in reverse that came out. We have the Fool. And what was interesting with the Fool was when it came out, it immediately showed itself like this. But as I like it came out and I saw it in reverse, and then it quickly turned upright here. So I don't know if that means something. Maybe kind of been holding yourself back in some sort of way, especially like if you've been holding onto something a little too tightly, and then kind of are catching yourself doing that, recognizing that that's not the energy that you need to be in for stepping into this destiny or whatever, and so you're kind of flipping that the other way and starting to move, just take that leap of faith, start that fool's journey. We also have the Hermit in reverse here, talking a little bit about, maybe we've been in a bit of a hermit mode, and with that Fool energy, maybe we're stepping out of that hermit mode, especially if we're kind of getting used to what we do and don't want, and sitting in that centered place and bringing forth the desires that we do want, really starting to manifest on a higher level here. And maybe this justice is kind of telling us a little bit like how we are, that we deserve this, and not because of anything specific that we've done necessarily, but just simply because we deserve to have the things that we want in our life. We deserve good things to happen, and they are our desires because we desire them, and they are meant to come into our lives because we desire them. Um, it's kind of a getting rid of that lack mindset and making way for a bit more of an abundance mindset. Maybe we're stepping more into that now. And we got the Seven of Cups in reverse here. And I immediately always feel like, this is kind of like us masking. Maybe we're kind of just taking off that mask and really putting ourselves out there now, or being called to do so if that's not something you're doing now. Maybe you're being called to do that. Step more into this. Really, I think there's a big call here that we're just meant to step up into ourselves, because we also have the star here, but it was directly after this devil card came out here too. So I feel like there's this kind of this transformation of ourselves, ourselves to really let go of this devil energy to step into the star energy here, take off that mask and step into that energy there. Then we also have the Three of Swords that came out as well. And maybe this is something that's like really held us back from stepping into this energy, is like feeling like heartbroken, or maybe feeling like we will get our hearts broken, especially if any of this does. If you've been manifesting love or anything like that, maybe you really want to be in a relationship with somebody, or you really want to meet somebody, or start dating again, or something like that. Um, but you hold yourself back from that because you don't want to get hurt again. And I totally understand that. That's a really tough place to be in. Um, but I think it's important to remember that we didn't get hurt in the past just because we let somebody in. We got hurt in the past because we gave too much of ourselves to somebody who couldn't hold it. And I think with this transformation energy, this devil energy here, especially with, coming into the star, it's kind of us realizing that, and realizing where maybe we made mistakes in past relationships, of overgiving ourselves, or, just people pleasing too much. And this is kind of allowing and recognizing this and realizing this, especially for revisiting those old energies. Maybe some of these old energies are old relationships that you were in, um, and you're kind of like seeing yourself in a different light now with a new perspective, and like seeing that, like, during that time maybe you didn't see that you were engaging in a relationship in a unhealthy codependent type of way. And now that you have a different, more healed perspective, and there's been some time away from this relationship, you're now kind of revisiting this energy again, and seeing yourself in a different light, and seeing places where you were doing this, and where this was a toxic relationship, and where there was some codependency going on here. And it's a little personal, but I feel called to share this. I recently found a journal entry that I wrote down of dream that I had, and this dream was literally my ex, which at the time girlfriend, cheating on me, basically, like with this other dude. And like the way that I responded in the dream wasn't that I was mad that she was cheating on me. I was just trying to like prove that I was better than him in the dream, like I was like trying to protect her from like this other person, that I was like, oh man, the other person's the bad one here. And it's like, and like I just read this journal entry of me like talking about this dream, and then I just kind of realized, like, that's not at all what that dream was trying to tell me. That dream was trying to tell me that maybe this relationship's not exactly very good. And I mean, maybe there was a bit of a hint there that she wasn't exactly loyal. And I don't necessarily have confirmation of that, so maybe not. But I think that the message still resonates, of like, me responding in that way was an unhealthy way to respond to that sort of situation happening in general. And that's the way that I would have responded to that situation if it had manifested itself in the 3D. And and there was no way I could have possibly seen that at the time. However, now that it's been at least 3 years now, and it's been years since then, and I can like take his no, like look at that journal entry and realize like, oh, I really was like interacting and engaging with that relationship in a very unhealthy way. So maybe this is a sort of thing that you're going through. Maybe there's some old stuff that you've been going through, and you are like an old journal or something, and you're really like realizing how much you've grown and like how much you have interacted with things in an unhealthy way in the past, and maybe it's kind of illuminating a little bit more of like how you want to show up in different relationships, either romantic or not, in the future, in a different way and in a more healthy way, a way that's more aligned with you because you're pouring into yourself more now than you were in the past. And I think that this energy here is kind of where this justice is coming in. Maybe you're kind of getting that like you're balancing the scales in that way because you're working through these things and seeing yourself in these lights. Um, and that is kind of leading you to this fool's journey. Maybe you're feeling much much better about yourself. You've been feeling like you're getting kind of ready to put yourself back out there in the world and step out of this hermit energy here. um and maybe if you haven't been going through old stuff, maybe there is a call to go through old stuff, and then you'll kind of see this thing here. But I think this process of looking at the old, seeing where you've been and where you are now, is going to be really helpful for you stepping out into the world, putting yourself out there and feeling a bit more confident in that, which is really cool. Really good stuff. Yeah. Exciting, exciting, exciting. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh yeah, especially with this the Ten of Swords here in reverse, maybe you felt very betrayed by, like, for example, me in that situation, like in that dream, I definitely felt betrayed. But it wasn't betrayed like, now looking at it, I feel like I did feel betrayed by her in that way, but not like I wasn't consciously aware of that. But now looking at it, it's like, I don't know. I don't feel betrayed by her now because I'm not in that relationship anymore. But maybe you're kind of like working through that energy, and that mixed with working through that heartbreak here, is helping you step into that star energy a little bit more for you. Cool, cool, cool. Very good stuff. Okay. So now I want to get in to our little crystal healing card here. And so, if you're someone who likes to work with crystals at all, this could be a crystal that you may want to pick up if you don't have it already, or if you do have it, maybe you want to dig it out of your collection and start working with it a little bit. Maybe it might help you out through this energy here, which is really cool. This actually kind of really lines up with what I've been talking about, which is really fun. So, it's what you got here is iolite. And then underneath here it says inner journey crystal. So sounds like you've been kind of going through this inner journey here, and this might help you out with that. But yeah, each of these crystals are aligned with one of our chakras here. So this one's aligned with the third eye chakra. So maybe you need to do a little bit of work on the third eye. You could look up some sort of meditation or something you can do with that. But here, the physical qualities for this crystal are, it improves immune system function, relieves tension headaches, balances and adds vitality to metabolism, restores balance to the brain's hemispheres, supports harmony between masculine and feminine energies, addresses weight issues, and can help release the cause of addiction when combined with positive visualization. So maybe some of those things are something that you've been dealing with, especially that balance with the justice card there. Maybe it's kind of help you out with that balance going on. Maybe there's been a bit of an imbalance there, maybe. And then the emotional qualities are it blends of blue and violet stimulate the crown and third eye chakras, joining intuition with spiritual consciousness, calming, brings deep insight to aid in one's emotional journey, stimulates the imagination, creativity, and self expression. And then there's a little affirmation we can do here at the bottom. It says, I shed all illusion and become whole. So, cool stuff. You can just kind of sit in meditation and say that to yourself too. That might help you out here. Um, Now, I want to look in the book here because it does give a little bit of a healing that you can physically do with this crystal here. Now, if you have this crystal, you can do this. Even if you don't have this crystal, you can still kind of do this. Now, at the beginning, it usually tells like uh, the placement for these crystals when you're sitting in meditation or whatever you can do, and you can actually do this if you have usually you need like a few of these and a few other crystals too. So if you don't have those, don't worry, because you can still do a bit of a meditation and the visualization. There's still a bit of a visualization in here that we can do, which I think is really cool. So this is what you can do is you can lie down on your back, hold an iolite in each hand, place additional iolite crystals on your third eye, crown, and on either side of your head above your ears to assist with balance. Place a smoky quartz or light black crystal below your feet. Breathe gently, feeling the breath flow into and out of your heart center in the middle of your chest. This is kind of the meditation that you can do. Um, yeah. When you feel calm and centered, shift your attention to the center of your forehead. On the first inhale, bring energy up from your heart center into your third eye chakra. On the exhale, send the breath out of your crown. For the second breath cycle, reverse the pattern, inhaling through your crown and exhale through the heart center. For the third breath cycle, breathe in through the iolite on the left side of your head and breathe out through the right side of your head. And you could just imagine breathing in through the left and out through the right. Then, for the fourth breath cycle, reverse the pattern. Breathe in through the eyelid on the right side of your head and out through the left side of your head. Repeat this 4 breath cycle up and down from your heart, crown, one side of your head to the other. This will help balance the right and left hemispheres of your brain, balance the masculine and feminine energies in your subtle body, and stimulate your crown, third eye, and head chakras for expanding, loving, and spiritual awareness. And I think like a big thing, this is a really good one to do, like even without the crystals, because I feel like just that visualization of breathing in through your heart center and breathing out through your crown, and then breathing out in through your crown and out through your heart, and then breathing in from one side of your head to the other side of your head, and one side of the head to the other side of the head could be really good. And maybe it's just really enhanced with those crystals there. Very cool. Awesome stuff. I love that. I think that that is everything that I have for you, Pile One. So thank you so much for watching. And if you got something out of this, I hope that that helps you out. And yeah, you can, if you want to share your appreciation, you can leave a like down below. If you want to share where you're at in this journey or what's going on with you, what resonated, what didn't resonate, you can put that down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to join me on this journey of doing tarot readings and stuff, you can go ahead and leave a subscribe and turn that notification bell on to be notified of any of my future uploads. Awesome. Again, thank you so much for watching. And I hope you have a great rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this. All right. Bye. Love you. Hello there, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. If you chose this Firmament card here, this is going to be your reading. So immediately I'm drawn to this lightning bolt going on in the background with this kind of pouring of like stardust energy. And I think this is just very cool energy to have here. I'm not sure which card this is aligned to, but it feels very star-like energy. Not sure. I could be wrong about it being the star, but I'm gonna guess that it's the star here. But yeah, very cool stuff. Kind of feels very magical. Maybe you resonate with being a star seed or anything like that, or maybe you just really like lightning. Maybe there's a kind of big energy going on right now in your life, or maybe you're feeling a big burst of energy starting to come through for you. So let's go ahead, and I love reading from this little Imperial Dragon Oracle deck here. gives us a little bit more insight here into what we got, especially like since I'm not super familiar with these cards specifically. Hey, I was right. It is the star. Let's go. Intuition on point. Okay, so well, this is cool. For the energy, it says the unending cosmos. So maybe you're really like kind of feeling like this infinite sort of unending cosmos energy, which is pretty cool. And the keyword meaning here is hope, which is awesome too. But the commentary says, gazing at a starry sky on a clear night reminds us that the only limitations that exist in our world are those that we create ourselves by what we choose to believe or disbelieve. There is no end to what we can achieve. Just as there are no limits to the firmament, the blanket on which the stars are laid. This card signifies the eternal hope that can carry us through even the most challenging of circumstances. That is super freaking cool. And yeah, I love the blanket on which the stars are laid. That's the firmament. That's so cool. That's such a cool I don't know. I just love that phrasing. I think that's really awesome. I want to read the meaning here too. It says, if there is an issue that concerns you, this card helps you to let those concerns go and to stay in a place of hope. The future is bright and filled with possibilities, so don't subscribe to any self-limiting philosophies. Everything is exactly as it needs to be, and all is well. The energies around you are all working in your favor. The sky's the limit. So maybe that's a little bit of a reminder you need that the universe is working in your favor. Everything works out for you, all that fun stuff. Very cool energy to start off our reading here. I love that for us. Oh, cool. And then the next card that we're going to get into, I think, is also kind of tying into this nicely. So I like grabbing a card here from our Getting into the Vortex deck. It's a deck of 60 relationship cards, but it's from Esther and Jerry Hicks here. They channel Abraham Hicks, and if you know who those people are at all, then maybe you're a little familiar with that, and uh, hopefully you enjoy them and as much as I do. And if you haven't ever heard of them before, maybe you want to go and check them out. There's lots of really cool stuff on YouTube that you can find from them. Plenty of awesome lectures, channels, whatever you'd like to call them. Yeah. So the card we got here says, my most important relationship is with my source, which is really cool. And I feel like kind of ties into the firmament here because I feel like our source, we are stardust, we are of the stars, we are of the firmament, and of that unlimited cosmic energy. So let's see what it reads on the back here. It says, there is no relationship of greater importance than to achieve that of greater importance to achieve than the relationship between you in your physical body right here and now and the soul slash source slash God from which you have come. If you tend to that relationship first and foremost, you will then and only then have the stable footing to proceed into other relationships. Your relationship with your own body, with money, with your parents, grandchildren, children, grandchildren, and your world will fall easily into alignment once you tend to this fundamental relationship first. Which, very true. And I feel like that kind of speaks a little bit to sort of spiritual protection and spiritual hygiene as well. Kind of strengthening that connection between you and the divine source, whatever that you believe in, whether that's God, universe, just unconditional love and light energy, whatever that is for you. And if you don't know this, it's important to remember that we are of the divine, and we all have that divine spark within us. And it's important to maintain that relationship there. Absolutely. And doing that will make all of our other relationships a little bit easier and will help them all fall a little easier into alignment here. So that's pretty cool. All right. Now I want to get into the tarot here and see if any messages want to come through for us. So you can just kind of put your energy into the cards here with the intention of the messages that are in alignment with your highest and greatest good come through for you. And let's see what we get. Okay. So starting off here, we got the Ace of Wands, which I feel like is pretty prevalent here. Open. Ooh, I actually haven't gotten that card in a reading just yet. That's exciting. Whoa, okay. Hello. Lots of things kind of popping up at me. Probably don't want to necessarily show that card. Just because YouTube can be a butthole. Probably going to need to censor it if I do. Okay. Lots of Wands energy coming out, which is interesting. Whoa. Let's see. Oh, 2 queens as well. And the sun. Hell yeah. That's some good energy right there. There's lots of good energy here. Oh, that guy wanted to poke out. And, oh. Okay. We'll take all of these. Okay. All right, I think that's enough. So, yeah, first of all, a ton of Wands energy here. So maybe there's, I think it works, is very prevalent, especially with what we were talking about with that relationship with the divine, with our source. And feels like there's, I mean, the wands are the spiritual suit, so there's a lot of spiritual energy here. So either you're getting in more in depth with your spiritual practices right now, or there's a call for you to do so if that's not something you're doing already. So yeah, we started off here with the Ace of Wands. Very exciting. I don't exactly remember what it means, but I feel very much like this is your wand. You're kind of grabbing onto your, especially like you're taking charge of your relationship with spirit, with the divine, and starting to really step into your power with that relationship here, which is exciting. And trying to step yourself into a bit more alignment there, which is going to just be beneficial to everything. And now there's the card that I was excited about that came out, that has not come out for any other readings just yet for me, is the Well here. And I'm excited because this is a unique card to this deck. And I have no idea what it means. So let's look it up. So here, the Well. Astrological correspondence is Gaia, Mother Gaia, beautiful. And the Well is the birthplace of ideas, inspiration, and transformation. All things are birthed from this creatrix, and knowledge flows freely to those who seek it. So yeah, maybe this feels like you're stepping into that. You're getting curious about the divine. You're getting curious either again about source and the divine, or you're getting curious for the first time about this stuff. And upright, it says nurturing, opportunity, nature, and creativity. So yeah, maybe you're like, it really feels like there's this burst of energy coming forth for connecting with the divine for you here. Seems like you're getting more tarot readings, either you've gotten your own tarot deck, either you're kind of getting into your own sort of spiritual practices. Maybe you're cleansing your space some more, getting into crystals a little bit more. Whatever that is for you, it feels like you are stepping into this energy a little bit more, and this is kind of expanding you into this star firmament sort of energy here, which is awesome. Then we also have the World here, which I'm going to cover it up a little bit because there's the Yetis on it. But we got the world card here, so I feel like this process of stepping into your own connection with Source, with the divine here, and really deepening that connection is opening up the world to you. I feel like it's making you feel better internally, which is bringing you into more alignment, which is also helping to bring everything else into alignment, which is ultimately just opening up the world for you, which is incredible. Kind of the same thing that this guy was saying, you know? So, yeah, and then we also have the Five of Wands here, and I keep forgetting what the Five of Wands means, and it keeps coming up here. But I always get like a fighting energy. Maybe you've kind of been spiritually fighting a little bit here. Yeah, conflict, disagreement, resistance, and competition. So yeah, maybe you felt like you've been in kind of this spiritual fight with other people. Maybe there's been a bit of an egoic competition sort of thing going on, either with you and somebody else, or just kind of like people in general just kind of feeling a little competitive with people. And I feel like this has helped push you into a little bit more of like stepping back and reflecting a little bit more and seeing like, I don't really want to be engaging in these things in this way, and maybe there's an energy here that I just don't want to engage with anymore. So you're taking a step back and you're deepening your spiritual connection and deepening your spiritual practices in order to help step out of that energy and get yourself into better habits and practices, which is awesome. And then we got the Queen of Wands in reverse, followed up by the Queen of Swords. So I feel like, kind of we were in maybe a bit of an egoic place with our spiritual practices a little bit, where we were kind of feeling like, oh yes, I've done all this work, blah blah blah, I know best for everyone, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that kind of vibe a little bit. But we were kind of getting a little bit of the spiritual backlash from that type of energy, right? If you're going around and feeling like if you're going around from a place of like putting yourself on a pedestal and telling other people what to do, people are not going to respond well to that, right? So you don't really necessarily want to do that. And you want to try to come from a place of that love and light, and that ultimately that's what you want to do. Just maybe there was a little bit of like a subconscious thing going on there, and you're kind of realizing this and taking more control of your own mind, and realizing that like, I don't want to do that, and you're kind of catching yourself in these moments and taking yourself out of that that cycle of being in that energy, which is really cool. And this is leading you to this sun energy, which is also the world, and all the fun and good stuff, and it's really starting to bring in some good stuff for you. And just yeah, keep going is all I can say. Like, keep going on this path. This is awesome. This is also bringing in a deep transformation for you, and I think it's very important to remember to be patient here, of course, with this process. This is a process, and of course, we're not just going to see this sort of change overnight. This is, like everything, it's a process, and just let yourself don't hold yourself to any too high of standards here. Try to just keep doing your best and be patient with yourself and with the world around you, especially with those around you who you may have been engaging in these sort of negative, like egoic types cycles with in this spiritual way. Like, if there was anybody that like maybe there was somebody in your life who you kind of had this like, oh no, I know better. Oh no, I know better. Oh no, I know better. Oh no, I know this. This because of this, and blah 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 blah. And if you just kind of end up going around and round and round and round in this little circle here, um, and maybe there's kind of a call to be patient even with those people, because remember, they were also kind of going through that thing and being in that, and whether or not they recognize that that's on them, that's ultimately part of their journey, and you can't sit and tell them that, because if you do, then you're just going to step back into that cycle, so you just be patient with the people around you. Keep doing your thing. Keep catching yourself in these scenarios, and keeps taking your step back, and take time to yourself if you need it. Like, don't be afraid to like stand your ground, put up boundaries, be like, hey, I really just gotta like go and seclude for a little bit. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay. So we also have Seven of Wands here and the Two of Wands, both in reverse. Um, Now, I'm not super familiar with what these mean in the reverse. Um, so hold on. I want to look at the booklet real quick here. So, yeah, which I feel like this is kind of confirmation for this type of energy. The Two of Wands in reverse is talking about overconfidence, stunted, undetermined, and blocked. So maybe this type of energy that you've been in has been exactly what's been blocking you from all the things that you want in your life, especially all the manifestations and stuff that you've been trying to call in. It's not that they don't want to come in for you, it's that you haven't been in alignment with yourself and with your source, so those things can't quite come in because we're too caught up in these cycles of egoic battles with other people and blah 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 blah, and being overconfident in our own abilities. And I think that there's a bit more of a call of like having a bit of humility here, and especially and asking for help, like in a spiritual way, like asking God, the universe, source, whatever you want to call it, for help in this way. That alone is going to help deepen your relationship with that source and with that divine love that wants to help us out so much. um and oh yeah, okay, so I feel like these are very tied, because I feel like this is kind of exactly that cycle that we were in, or have been in, or are in. Is so because the Seven of Wands in reverse is talking about inferiority and being overwhelmed and judgment and weakness. And I feel like what would happen here is we'd be overconfident, start kind of pointing out something that we see in somebody else going on, um, and that in turn would bring in, make this other person, or these other people start to flip around and turn that energy back towards us, which would make us feel inferior, overwhelmed, judged, and weak. And that would then flip back the other way, because we'd be like, no, I'm not this way, blah blah blah, I have all these things and I've worked so hard and done this and this and this, and I'm really good. And then you'd step back into that overconfident energy, and it would and then you would kind of point it out again in somebody else, and then it would just bring this energy right back to you, and you're just kind of going back and forth in between this Two of Wands in reverse and this Seven of Wands in reverse. And that's exactly what this relationship with the divine is going to help you kind of work through. You can kind of take a step back and ask the divine for help, and really sit into your spiritual practices a little bit more. We'll start to find some solace in that relationship, and it'll help step us into alignment and help our relationships with other people a lot more, help us relate with other people a lot better. And don't if you have been going through this and you're kind of feeling a little upset at yourself for doing this, because you know that, like, ah, man, why am I doing this? I know better, blah blah blah. And that self-critic kind of coming through. Just you're not alone, okay? And don't beat yourself up too hard. Seriously, this is such a human thing for us to do, is to get all caught up in our egos, and with in the ego matches and competition and all these things. Like, it's so easy to step into that, and like I myself have been kind of going through that recently too. Like, though, so just remember, you're not alone. there are plenty of us out there who are going through this exact same thing, and whether or not we'll say it or it, just know that you aren't alone in this, and the divine and the universe loves you and wants to help you work through this. So just ask for that help, and you will receive it in some pretty magical and incredible ways, for sure. Awesome stuff. This has been a really cool reading. I'm loving this for you. And yeah, I just want to reiterate, like, as you work through this energy here and take a step back and kind of break this cycle and this habit, you will find yourself, in that beautiful, really hard to cover and show, in that beautiful world energy, with the sun energy here. There's lots of really good energy here that wants to come in for you, and it's just getting blocked by this little cycle going on, and not quite being in alignment with that relationship with source. So I think focusing on that relationship with our source and stuff is exactly how we're going to open up and expand ourselves in this way and be able to live in a more fulfilling way and interact with other people in a more fulfilling way, and hopefully actually be able to shift some of these relationships that we're engaging in, and hopefully they won't stay this way. But if you are in a situation where somebody else just can't leave that sort of energy and they just keep trying to drag you back into that, I will say, please put your foot down and don't let yourself succumb to that more. Okay. Don't let them pull you back in, because you don't need that. They don't need that. And even if it takes, you fully cutting that person off, um, ultimately that would be a good thing, because maybe hopefully it would help them to see and recognize that maybe they need to go in and do a little bit of that kind of work as well here. Okay. So don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. All right. Yeah, cool. Very awesome. Let's get into our last little card here. Now, I also have a card from my crystal healing card deck here. And these just give us a little crystal that we can work with that hopefully will be kind of help us out with these energies here. I just kind of pulled one of these at random and see if it aligns. They tend to align a lot with what we kind of talk about at our readings, which is really cool. I just think it's cool because I don't even look at these beforehand. So it's just very fun. But this one's aligned with the throat chakra here. They're all aligned with one of our chakras, and maybe that's a chakra that you kind of need to work on in general, especially if you have been in this kind of fight thing and you keep getting sucked back into that. Maybe that's where we need to express our throat chakra a little bit, stand up for ourselves, express ourselves in this way, kind of help us step back and communicate more with the divine. Cool. So we'll take this and we will flip it over and see what we got. We got the Larimar crystal here. And underneath it here, it says spaciousness. So I feel like, that does kind of tie in, because we want to create a little bit of space from this type of energy here. And remember that there's much more to life than just being better than somebody else, right? So we got physical qualities here. It releases blockages and negative energy, treats bones in the cranium and upper spine, supports health in the throat and soft tissues, heals the pineal and thyroid glands and their associated organs, and improves hormonal function. Very cool stuff. Emotional qualities. It restores balance from emotional extremes, addresses bipolar disorder, OCD, PTSD, and anxiety related mental and emotional disorders, reduces stubbornness and fear of change, calming and soothing, clears emotional blockages, and enhances truthful communication. And then the affirmation underneath here says, I welcome positive change. I think that this is just beautifully in alignment with this message here. Especially like if you're having trouble dealing with this, maybe picking up some Larimar would really help you out here, because I mean it's going to reduce that stubbornness that might be in that sort of energy. That energy can be very stubborn. So that something to soothe that and kind of soften that stubbornness a little bit would really help you out here. And and clearing those emotional blockages that might be tied to this thing. Like this sort of energy can get very emotionally charged. So you know, and those emotions are exactly the type of thing that's going to wrap you back into this sort of loop here. So dealing with those emotional blockages and helping clear those things out is going to be very helpful. So that Larimar is going to help you out with that. And yeah, enhances truthful communication too. So help you even stand up for yourself in that way, in a true and honest way that's not intended to hurt anybody, right? And not intended to um, exacerbate this issue. So yeah, let's read the little healing that you can do here. So the booklet that I got here also will gives us a little bit of a healing that you can do like with this crystal, these actual crystals if you have them. This usually calls for multiple of these. So if you don't have multiple of these or the funds to get multiple of these or whatever, you can. Don't worry, because you can still kind of get a little bit out of this healing here. There's bit of a you can still sit in meditation and do sort of a visualization here with this sort of breath work that we do here. You'll get it as we go. But here, let me start reading this. So what you can do is you can surround your body with a circle of Larimar crystals spaced equidistant from one another. Place a Larimar on your throat chakra, followed by one on each side of your forehead. Rest a lavender amethyst on your third eye chakra. Place any cool green crystal over your heart chakra and hold a Larimar in each hand. So that's what you can do if you have these crystals. Now, if you don't have these crystals, you can still do this part, okay? So you can take gentle, long, deep breaths. And as you breathe, imagine your breath flowing into your heart chakra and out your throat chakra, back into your throat chakra and out your third eye. Then reverse the pattern, breathing into your third eye, out your throat chakra, back into your throat chakra, and out your heart chakra. This breathing pattern and crystal placement will stimulate each chakra, provide calming and bring balance to your emotions and thoughts. Continue this breathing pattern for 3 to 10 minutes, then return your focus to your throat chakra and rest comfortably, letting the crystal energy absorb into your body. So even if you have just one of these crystals, I think you could just sit with this Larimar in your hands in meditation, do this breathing practice of breathing into your heart and out your throat, into your throat and out your third eye, into your third eye, out your throat, into your throat and out your heart again, over and over. And then just, you could even then just sit and rest that crystal onto your throat chakra, or just sit and rest into that energy and really feel into it and let that absorb into your energy system. That might help you out a lot too. Okay, cool. Awesome. That's all I got for you today, pile number 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed and you got something out of it, then you can show your appreciation by leaving a little like down below. And if this resonated with you, I'd really love to hear it down below in the comments. What did resonate, what didn't resonate. And if you want to share some words of encouragement to anybody else on this journey here, you can also leave that down below in the comments. And if you want to join me on this journey, you can subscribe, turn the notification bell on to be notified of any future uploads I do. And yeah, thank you so much for watching again. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or night whenever you're watching, okay? All right. Love you. Bye. Hello there, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose this Aeon card, or the Eon, whatever. If you chose this card here, then this is going to be your reading. Awesome. I'm excited for this. I mean, this is a pretty cool looking card here. We got this upside down little triangle that this dragon is snaking inside, with these flowers and roses kind of coming out of here as well. Very cool stuff. I'm not really sure the Aeon. I don't think it's the world card. It might be the world card that it's in alignment with. Because each of these Dragon Oracle cards are connected to one of the major arcanas from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck here. So here, let's double check and see what we got. And it's the Judgment card. Okay, yeah. So, very cool. So maybe we're getting a little bit of an epiphany here. We're kind of seeing the fusion of wisdom and understanding is what the energy is in here. And it's completion energy. It's we're ending one thing, moving into another thing. We're putting an end to old cycles. We're stepping into some new stuff. I have that space in between ending something and beginning something new. So I want to read the commentary here because there's some really good stuff in here. So let's see. It says, the dragon of the Aeon governs the turning of the great wheel of time and brings events to their natural conclusion. This marks the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new one. It allows us the opportunity to view and evaluate all that has unfolded. It is a time when we may be able to fuse the wisdom and lessons that our recent experiences have brought us and integrate them into our inner being. And I want to read the meaning here as well. It says, everything that has happened has been part of your unfolding path. Although at times you may have wondered why things were happening in the way they were, everything unfolded in the correct manner. Now is the time for you to begin to understand the magic of the soul's journey and to extract the wisdom and insight from past challenges. With completion comes the power of rejuvenation and metamorphosis. So, yeah, I think this is definitely for you if you feel like you are completing some sort of cycle here. Um, um, if you feel something's either just come to an end for you or is starting to come to an end for you, this is probably for you here. So yeah, we got beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Let's step into our next card here. I'm not really getting a whole lot else from this, so let's just move on. Now what we got here is a card from the Getting into the Vortex deck here. This is deck from Esther and Jerry Hicks, people who channel Abraham Hicks, and talks about stepping into your vortex, which gets you into alignment with source and helps you manifest things easier, because if you're just in that vortex, you're aligning with the things that you truly want and desire, can bring things in a little bit easier, all that fun stuff. So the card you got here, it's number 33. So, maybe that's a little bit of a sign for you, especially since you're pile 3. We got I can find harmony by feeling for improved thoughts. So yeah, maybe a bit of this cycle here is some less than ideal thoughts and thought patterns that we've been in, and maybe that's coming to an end or ending or ended. So on the back here it says, if we were contemplating an action that caused negative emotion, we would not proceed with the action until we had resolved the negative emotion. We would make sure that we had come into alignment with source before proceeding. By feeling for the improved thought in time, and usually in a short time, you will feel the harmony of your source, and you will know the appropriateness of your behavior. We would not look for the long list of right and wrong, but instead we would feel for the emotion of alignment with source. So I think this is talking about maybe like we've really been in a cycle in a bit of a time of like sitting in some negative thoughts and stuff, some thoughts that we don't want to be in, that aren't in alignment with our source and with the divine love and light here. And I think taking some time to and I think we're kind of learning to stop ourselves in that moment and see what we're doing and like feel into the emotion of alignment with source here. Very cool stuff. So yeah, especially like and I feel like we're kind of putting an end to that cycle of those actions that cause negative emotions by doing this process of doing this. This is what has brought about this ending of this cycle for us. Let's go ahead and step into our tarot here. So what you can do is you can put your energy into these cards, set your attentions for the messages that you need to hear at this time to come through, that are messages that are in alignment with your highest and greatest good, of course. And Absolutely. And then we'll see what comes through for you. I don't know why I felt like just looking up and winking at the camera. Very fun. Mm. Let's see. Anything else that wants to come through? We only got one card that's come out so far. Maybe there's not much message here for you. Although, why would you be here if there wasn't? Right? See anything at all, Spirit? Ah, there we go. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Lots of Wands energy here again. Ooh, that one came out interestingly. Came out and just kind of settled on my lap in a fun way. Ah! Okay. And we got that here as well. Okay, interesting. Okay. So, we have the Nine of Wands here, as well as the Two of Swords. And then we have the Five of Cups and the Magician. And we got the Eight of Wands, Four of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups in reverse here. Oh, the Eight of Wands was in reverse as well. So I don't know, I'm kind of getting like, especially with this, maybe this is sort of the cycle that's been going on here, is kind of like this cycle that's coming to a close is this like Five of Cups, Two of Swords energy. I mean, this like feeling sad about certain things not working out for us, and maybe we've been kind of worried about some things not working out for us, and like that's where that Two of Swords energies come in. Is like, oh well, if I choose this or this, like what's going to work out for me? Which one will this work out for me? Will this work out for me, or whatever? Trying to step ourselves into the future so much. Like it feels like there's a lot of us being caught up in the future energy here, and like I feel like there's a big call to just kind of take a step back and try to sit in the present moment a little bit more here. That's gonna allow the universe to bring in more of what we actually want to happen, more of what the universe even wants to bring in for us here, right? Oh, I don't know why I'm not getting anything for this Nine of Wands here. And I'm just going to look it up real quick, see what we got. Courage, determination, persistence, and hope. So yeah, maybe through this energy here of like, you know, being we've been sitting in this like I don't know what's going to happen in the future, blah blah blah, but we're starting to see an end to that cycle here, and that is giving us this courage, determination, and hope here for us. And I feel like this process of like us seeing these things and like getting to this space of hope. I mean, of course you're able to do that because you're the magician, right? Like of course you're able to work, get through whatever this tough time has been for you and step into this more of this Nine of Wands energy and have a little bit more hope for the future without getting so caught up about like the details of it and like all the little things that you may feel like need to happen in order for whatever it is that you want to come in. And maybe we're kind of detaching from the outcome so much, and that's relieving this Five of Cups energy for us. Now, there's also the Eight of Wands in reverse here, so I think this is part of that energy that we've been in, is this frustration, because maybe we feel like things have been delayed for us a bit, quite a bit here. And bear with me, I'm still trying to learn what all these mean and everything. I'm just kind of going with it. But the Four of Swords here is about contemplation, meditation, relaxation, and rest. And I feel like this is a big thing that's helping us out with this energy. There's a big call here to take a step out of ruminating and worrying about what the future is going to bring in for us, because that is just going all that's going to do is block anything that wants to actually come in, any of our manifestations and stuff that want to come in. It's just going to block it, right? Because we're just getting so caught up about what the future is going to be, and like caught up about all these different obstacles and things. So sitting in a little bit more of that meditation and rest and relaxation, and especially just kind of like focusing more on what brings us joy and like the present moment, and that's going to allow the things that want to come in for us to come in a much better way as well here. Interesting. So there's also an energy of like a superficial energy, an energy of martyrdom here as well, with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse here. And I just want to say that being a martyr is not cool. I mean, like sacrificing yourself and your own needs for others is not a fun thing. It's not good for us. It doesn't help anybody ultimately in the long run. I mean, it may seem like it helps people immediately in the here and now. However, all that's doing is teaching the people in your life that this is something that they can do. They can demand these certain things from you without anything being returned necessarily. It's like this energy of like giving too much of yourself, especially if you're a people pleaser, giving so much of yourself to other people, really just teaches them that it's okay to ask for so much from you. And if it's too much, and if you're not pouring the energy into yourself first, then ultimately you're just going to end up drained, and that's just an energy siphon right there. Maybe this is a bit of that cycle that's kind of ending here, is maybe we're finally like working through that people pleaser tendency and starting to put our own foot down and step out of any of those cycles that we may have been overgiving in, and any of those relationships that we've been overgiving in, especially if we haven't been giving so much to ourselves. And I feel like there is a big call to sit and in that meditation and relaxation, and to give to ourselves in that way. Make sure we're doing that, okay? The only way you can help others is by helping yourself first, right? Put on your own oxygen mask before you put on somebody else's, or help somebody else with theirs. And I feel like this helping other people in that way, and like self-sacrificing and giving so much of ourselves to other people, puts us in this state of like hopelessness and confusion, and like we're kind of just drifting and feeling rejected by this, that, and the other, because ultimately we're not stepping into alignment with ourselves and with our source. And that is exactly stepping into alignment with ourselves and with our source is exactly how we bring in the things that we want, and how we align ourselves with the things that aren't going to reject us, if that makes sense, like the things that are actually meant for us, right? And that rejection ultimately is just a scenario where you probably would continue these cycles of overgiving yourself and pouring like so much of yourself into this, that, and the other. Um, and that feeling of hopelessness there. Nice, nice. I do want to look at the Two of Swords again because I feel like I missed something with that. Maybe looking at it in here will bring it out. Okay, yeah. It talks a lot about intuition here. Maybe there's been a bit of a stalemate in your life here, like with other people. Maybe you've been trying to put your foot down in this way, and you felt like you're just not getting anywhere with somebody else. And I feel like there's maybe a bit of a call to pull back a little bit more from that energy in general. You don't want to like overgive still and like I think still hold on to that, follow your intuition in that. Okay, definitely, definitely. And ultimately, like remember that you are this magician, and you ultimately are the creator of your own life. You're in control here, and you're the one who can decide whether or not you're going to continue to give so much of yourself to the people around you. Um, and it's not to say that like you can't give anything to the people around you, but I think the important thing to remember here is that you come first. If you can't pour into yourself, then ultimately you're not going to be able to pour into anybody else in a healthy way. And you're just going to end up creating more codependent relationships, and either with the people that you're already with or with new people. And I think that even if you have been doing this a lot and you feel kind of stuck because you're like in these relationships with these people that you care about so much, but you don't want to be put over giving to yourself in all these ways, then um, maybe there's kind of, a reminder here that like if you stand up for yourself in this way and you communicate for yourself, or you communicate the things that you do need, like maybe if you need a little bit of space or just some time to pour into yourself or whatever, if you communicate that with these people, if they truly love you, then they're not going to care ultimately. And if you communicate that like, hey, I feel like I've been over giving in this way and that way, then um, you know if that person's truly aligned with you and truly has your best interests at heart, then they're not going to care. They're going to be like, "Oh, okay, sorry. Like I didn't realize like you felt this way, blah blah blah." Like, "Oh, yeah, go and take the time that you need or whatever it is that you need or blah blah blah." You know, that's kind of stuff. So just remember that. And if they're not, and if they get upset at you, and if they start, like throwing a tantrum or being like, "Oh, you changed," or you blah blah blah, this that and the other, just don't give them the time of day at that point. Like just maybe consider cutting them out of your life at least a little bit more. You don't necessarily have to completely cut them out, but maybe at least some time away from them would be beneficial for both parties. Um, Absolutely. Cool. Um, all right. Now, what I want to do here is get into our last little card here. I am feeling called to just mention, if you felt at all called to pile number 2 here, there's a lot of similar energy here. I've I really went off in pile number 2, so, if you do feel called to it all, check out that pile, maybe you'd want to, might be some messages in there for you, okay? Especially if you've been going through this type of energy here. Very similar stuff. Um so here, let's real quick though. Let's take a look at our crystal healing card here. This is going to be your last little thing. These are just crystals that we can use to kind of work with to help heal us in this way here. And yeah, so what we got is the chrysoprase crystal. I hope I'm saying that right. Chrysoprase, something like that. But it's a pretty looking crystal. Look at that. Pretty awesome. It's a prosperity crystal, so maybe you need to bring a little bit more prosperity into your life, especially if you are really stuck in that like rumination energy of like just feeling crappy for like overgiving or anything. Maybe you need a little bit of sit in that prosperity a little bit, pour into yourself here. We got physical qualities for this crystal is it aligns the heart chakra's energy with the solar plexus and throat chakras, bringing vitality, counteracts exhaustion, aids in general detox, soothes digestive issues, stimulates the liver, helps filter blood and regulate pulse, strengthens muscles of the heart. Pretty cool stuff. And then the emotional qualities are it brings an overall sense of well being, good fortune, success, and prosperity, supports emotional calm and balance, instills love, joy, hope, and nurturing, relieves anxiety, boosts tolerance and self esteem, which sounds like something we may need if we've been overgiving quite a bit, may need a bit of a self esteem boost there. And then there's the affirmation here at the bottom you can say is I am prosperous. Very cool. So I want to read the healing in the little booklet here as well. If you do have this crystal, then you can do this healing. And even if you don't have this crystal, you can still sit in meditation and visualize this sort of energy. We do a little bit of like a breathing exercise here with this crystal. And you can still do it even if you don't have this crystal, okay? Okay. So what we got here is you can encircle your body with green chrysoprase or alternating chrysoprase and any other green crystal. Lie on your back, place a chrysoprase over your heart chakra and surround it with 4 Herkimer diamonds. Place a small turquoise stone over your throat chakra and a yellow crystal over your solar plexus chakra. To connect the crystals, place 1 to 3 double terminated clear quartz crystals lined up tip to tip between the chrysoprase and the turquoise and yellow crystal. All these crystals should be aligned with the central cord of energy. Hold a chrysoprase in each hand and face the palms upward. So if you have all these crystals, you can lay them out and do this actual part. And then this next part, you can do even if you don't have these crystals, okay? With your eyes closed, visualize your body being filled and surrounded with green light from the chrysoprase. Allow the light to expand out from your body until you can no longer see its edges. Allow yourself to float within a field of green. Silently repeat these words to yourself. I am attracting prosperity and good fortune. I am thankful for what I have. Let yourself understand that prosperity refers to a state of mind and does not depend on what you own. Continue this exercise for 20 to 30 minutes. There you go. All right, I am feeling called to wrap up this reading here. So, if you got something out of that, then you can show your appreciation by leaving a like down below. That's the best and easiest way to help me out. And yeah, if you want to share any, maybe any insights you got from this or anything that resonated or didn't resonate, you can leave that in the comments down below here. If you want to leave any words of encouragement down there as well, those are more than welcome. And yeah, if you want to follow along with this journey, you can subscribe and turn that notification bell on to be notified of any future uploads that I do. And yeah, thank you so much for watching again. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day or night whenever you're watching. And yeah, I love you. Bye.